I think OBS just didn't like that I was downloading an update for League of Legends while I'm broadcasting, or my internet didn't like it. So, as I was saying, was in HOTS, the percentage of player base that knows about HCC is 1 to 5%. The percentage of the player base that knows about LCS, Worlds, stuff like that, is 20 to 50%. And I mean, a lot of people know about BlizzCon. Everyone knows about BlizzCon for Blizzard games. And everyone probably knows about the World Championships in League, because they also added quests and stuff. Come on, League of Legends. I want to show people how much they advertise Worlds and LCS compared to HOTS HGC advertising and BlizzCon stuff. What are you doing? You should be done by now. Come on. Do the thing, League of Legends. Do the thing. I mean, Riot Games has other issues. Like, their client is also pretty not great. They're not perfect, but they're doing a much better job on the esports side than Blizzard is. Hope I don't leak my IP or something stupid. Alright, we're good. Still needs to update, but I can log in at least. Look at this. Look at this. Oh wow, what's this? I've never heard of this. I'm a completely casual player. What's going on here? What's this cup? And all of these guys. And this stuff. What's all this? I guess I should log in. Let me log in real quick. What's going on here? New casual player who only plays versus bots? What's going on? Oh. Worlds 2018 semifinals live now? Wow. Worlds loot. Wow. Send Cloud9 my Worlds energy. Worlds season 2018? I bet there's even quests for this Worlds. Wow. Tokens. Let me get some tokens. Wow. Look at all that. Riot only has one... That doesn't matter. These are both massive companies that have as many resources as they need to support their games that they make and develop. Wow, a Worlds 2018 pass? Look at all this cool stuff. All this, wow. LOLesports.com. I can log in and watch to start earning stuff? That's amazing. Let's go into that. Let's see what's going on here. I can watch the esports and log in and then look at all these VODs that I can click on and instantly watch. Wow. This is so cool. I'm gonna spend money on this game and play it more and stuff like that. Wow, that's great. Look at how fast they put up the VODs too. These matches literally, these VODs right here, let me reopen this. Because this match live just ended, if it would load again. This match, Fnatic vs C9, just ended less than an hour ago, maybe an hour ago. And the VODs are already up on YouTube. How'd they manage that? Is Riot some kind of a magical company? How did they do that? When I can go to this and look for VODs. Let me take a look at this. Hey Blizzard, can I find VODs? Oh. Oh. This is day 1 and a bunch of them are missing. Day 2? Oh, a lot of them are missing too. Day 3? Wow. Where are my VODs? They didn't even update this score. VOD is literally right here. Standings? Updated. Everything. Every single one. Updated. The matches. Everything. Updated as soon as it's done. You can really see the difference. You can smell the difference. You can taste the difference. You can really taste it. Wow. Look at this. This match just finished. Look at that. I could go all the way to game 3. It's processing. Alright. Fair enough. You can't instantly upload videos to YouTube. Game 2? It's already uploaded. Fully. In super high quality. Look at this quality. What? How is this even possible? How did they upload 1080p 60 frames per second? How did they upload this so quickly? What is Blizzard not doing? Look at this. This is probably not even super high quality. What's the highest quality you got here? They got it too. Alright. Somehow Riot has the magic, and Blizzard just lacks the magic. One of these is a small indie company, and the other one is a massive corporation that's been a corporation for decades. 90% of people guess wrong. It's streamed to YouTube? Okay, sure. That is an advantage. But why isn't this streaming to YouTube then? Why not? So that you can get really early uploads, so that people can actually watch your VODs. Or at least, at the very least, if it does take a long time to upload to YouTube, why are you not linking Twitch VODs? Why are you not doing that? Official score? Officially it was a 0-0. Neither team showed up, and they were awarded 0 wins each, 0 points each. And I mean, you can look at the standings too. Let's look at the brackets. Oh, the one is 4-4? Oh, Heroes Hearth is 4-2, really? Okay. Sure. Wow. Alright. See what's going on here. I mean, here's the thing. Even if you are uploading to YouTube, it doesn't take 72 hours to upload this to YouTube. This is maybe 2 hours of broadcast time at most. At most 2 hours, and it does not take 72 hours to upload this, to upload this, to upload this. It does not take 72 hours. Someone had a job which was upload these games off of the second stream to YouTube, and it just did not happen. Did not happen. Just never got done. Why? Are they not getting paid enough? Or did nobody have that job? Someone had the job to upload the mainstream games, but they just never did the second stream games. Yeah, those are all the uncast games are not uploaded. All of them. And then this game isn't uploaded either. They haven't finished rendering it yet or something. I don't know. Meanwhile, this game happened 2 hours ago. I mean, they did broadcast it on YouTube, but their standings are updated instantly. Look at this. Oh my... Possible spoilers, click to reveal? Wow, thanks. Thanks, Riot Games. Thanks, League of Legends. Updating's taking absolutely forever. But at least I know that League of Legends is happening, LCS is happening, World is happening. And it's not just Worlds. You go to the homepage when LCS is happening, filled with LCS stuff. Filled completely. You do this with HTC, maybe you're lucky, if it's there. If you even notice it. Yeah, someone could have literally taken the clip from Twitch and done it themselves. Yeah, Twitch VODs are not very good. That is true. YouTube is much better for video than Twitch for recorded video. And that is something, I mean, Twitch isn't perfect either. Twitch should improve upon that. Twitch could easily take a lot of YouTube's user base if they just did that. If they just improved their VODs. And made them not so laggy and not so low quality and stuff. Yeah, HOTS has no API. I mean, it's just... I mean, these matches were done over 12 hours ago. And they haven't updated the score. This match was done less than 2 hours ago, and it's updated instantly. I bet if you came here after the first game was done, it was updated. Within 5 minutes, it was updated. Within a minute, it was probably updated. Yeah, Twitch just deletes VODs after. I mean, that is an issue for Twitch, where they have a ton of videos that are... a ton of VODs that are being made. Whenever anyone streams, it makes a VOD. Unless you choose to not make VODs. And so it is a limitation where they do delete VODs after a certain amount of time. And they have made it clear that they do that, because it is a storage limitation. where they don't make money off of those VODs, so there's no point spending a ton of money on the storage, the server farms to store VODs that nobody is even using. And that's fair. They're not YouTube. YouTube makes the money off of the videos. Twitch makes the money off of the live broadcasts. Optimal psychological decompression or I talk shit? Why not both? Because it is both. I mean, you can really tell the difference. There's a very clear difference that you can see between this and this. Even if I go here to something like, let's say I just want to look at NALCS. It doesn't like to do that. Ah, here we go. Let's look at a VOD. Oh, it's right here. Wow. I wonder if they've uploaded the VODs from, let's say, playoffs. Oh, they have. Good job, Blizzard. You did it. I was worried. Alright. How many clicks you have to go through to get to an actual HGC final bracket? So you click on this, you go to end up at HGC site, and then you say, I want to see the bracket. Ah, it's here. Wait, no it isn't. These are NA standings. That's irrelevant. Where is it? You need to go to schedule, and then you'll find it. If you click on schedule or standings, will you find it? You click on standings, you don't even find the standings for BlizzCon. What is this? I don't want NAU Korea China standings. Why do I have to click on schedule to find the standings for BlizzCon? What? I click on schedule and I see the standings. And yeah, there's no, Hots Logs was really good until the guy that was running it tried to make money off of it by having cancerous ads. And malicious ads. Yeah, I mean, there's issues that have been in the game since beta, where there are abilities that you can see their animations in Fog of War. And you can just, hover over, if you don't have a Tyrande, what you do is you hover over the boss with your camera, and you see, do I see a Blaze Q animation, or stuff like that? Do I see that? Oh, they're on the boss. You can even hear stuff in the Fog of War. Like stuff like Greymane Q, I think you can hear in Fog, or his W. Something like that. You could hover over it, do you hear something? They're on the boss. Do you see something? They're on the boss. Even though you don't have vision, you're not supposed to know if they're on it or not, but you can. I mean, what if I click on this? What happens here? Okay, I see this matchup specifically. I can click on this. What is this? What is this? What does this button even do? Does it do anything? What does this even do? If I click this, does it do something? Oh, now it does. So if I click on this, and then I choose matches, then I can get VODs. Okay, sure. I don't know. It's just, I mean, Blizzard can't sit here and sit there and think, why is our HGC not growing? Where's our Heroes of the Storm growth? When you can just come over here and instantly see why. Because there's a very big difference in quality. I mean, all that I go to is I go to this. This has everything. I mean, if someone doesn't find this though, if someone says, "Oh hey, HGC," "Oh hey, here's some stuff," and then where's my BlizzCon standings? Because if I go to this and I go to, can I go to the front page somehow? What is the landing page? If I go to lolesports.com. Oh. What do I see? Okay, possible spoilers. It goes to schedule immediately. Fine. But I click on standings and I see standings. StarCraft 2 site looks like. I'm not even going to look at that. It's probably bad. They think HGC is growing. Sure. I mean, is it growing? If you look at purely viewer numbers, I guess it is growing. Is the game growing? Probably not. Is HGC growing quickly? No. Is the pro player base growing? No. That is shrinking. A lot of pros are retiring or going to other games. So, I mean, if your viewership's growing by 5-10%, but your pro player base is shrinking by 25%, that's bad. That's not a good thing. And I mean, they're lucky that they're even seeing growth in HGC viewership because they don't advertise. They just sit there and hope that people click on it on Twitch. That's their advertisement, is pray that people are on Twitch and look at it. It's frustrating. Sitting there and watching a game that you love. Love is a strong, I don't know. Love is a really strong word, and it's hard to use love for a game. But a game that you very much like, just abused and not treated properly. That's such a weird. That makes it sound like the game is like whatever. It's a fine statement. Everyone knows what I'm saying when I say that. Dig to give Blizz a kick? I mean, I hope so, because I mean, the best thing the orgs, the sponsor, can do is they either tell Blizz directly, we're not going to sponsor anymore unless you make improvements, or they just stop sponsoring, because that gets the message across pretty clearly too. Cloud9 was sponsoring the game, and then they said, this isn't worth it anymore. Blizzard isn't promoting the game. Blizzard isn't promoting us. We're not sponsored anymore. Favorite bug? What about Tassadar Shields on Asmodan Ultimate? That was a pretty good bug. Yeah, new GMs are awful. They're so bad. I was right, but I think that was before I started playing too. But I saw videos of it where you just got level 10 on the Asmodan, and there was talent for Tassadar shields that made them have half shield strength after the duration ended. But the thing was that the Asmodan Ultimate was its HP bar worked a lot like Blackheart's Bay chests, where no matter how much damage you take 1 damage per hit. But the thing was, the Tassadar shield was still a shield for 200. So unless you hit the minions 200 times, you don't break the Tassadar shield. So basically, they were immortal, effectively. Dig threatening, they're unlikely to do that when they're like doing a prize. I think they could still threaten to pull out of HOTS. JPL's retiring, even though he's gonna get first, second at BlizzCon. He's still retiring. He's out. Take the money and run. Who will join Dig? I have no idea. No idea. I mean, there's tons of signs. There's tons of signs that things aren't great. But sure, that is definitely one of them. Where there's no new orgs that have come into the scene and been happy with their sponsorship of a team. Only orgs that have been in forever and have long-term relationships with the players. Commitments with the players. Blizzard's happy with what HOTS is? That's sad if they are. Because I don't think anyone else is happy with what HOTS is. Overwatch testing ground, yeah. I mean, that's what it feels like, is that a ton of stuff that's done in HOTS and HGC is just beta testing for Overwatch League. Roll20 came back. Roll20 is sponsoring HOTS because the owners of that org like HOTS, not because it's economically viable. aren't losing from their arrangement, sure, but that doesn't mean that they're still happy with it. Because they're not really making money even if they are a top 2 team. Sponsorship for an open division team already, which failed to qualify. Yeah. I mean, Octalis is the same reason. It's not a economically motivated decision to sponsor us. It is more personal. Where what's the sponsor? What's his name again? The owner of Octalysis or founder or whatever. Hold on. Let me pull up Discord. It has his name there. Yukai Chao. He also likes the game. And a big part of the reason why he's sponsoring the team is because he likes the game. Yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff. If I ran the game, everything would be different. There's so many, like, if any pro player was running the game, so much would be different. If even so many people on Reddit, if they were running the game, so much stuff would be different. So much stuff would be better. Yeah, you could get a Fortnite player for cheap still. Psalm isn't sponsored, I think. You could just get him for cheap. Yeah, less than a HOTS team, because then you're only paying 1 person instead of 5. And yeah, more exposure. A lot more exposure. And then you don't even have to deal with all of the garbage treatment that Blizzard seems to give HGC sponsors. Yeah, Reddit is a lot of monkeys, but there are a lot of people on Reddit that do have good ideas and have real suggestions. The majority are definitely monkeys. I mean, monkeys. They're very casual and have very uneducated opinions for sure. But there are a lot of good even like the saying is you put a million monkeys and give them each typewriter and eventually one of them types out Shakespeare. That's the same thing on Reddit where some of them are decently have good ideas, even if they are severely uninformed about the game and about the esport. They still have good ideas, and there's so many good ideas. There's so many good suggestions out there. It's just Blizzard doesn't take any of them. Blizzard's just sitting there, fingers in their ears. That's what it seems like. Is that really the average mid-tier NA team? 500 a month? I thought it was 1K a month. I thought it actually got to that point, but I guess it's not. Look at me, my privileged top 4 team player. I mean, 5K a month for one Fortnite player, even better. You could probably get one of the top 5 players in the world off that. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know what other teams get paid. I could ask them privately, and even if they did tell me, then they might tell me to not publicly state that anyway, but I mean, you're paying 5 people, and that is the cost of a team game. But yeah, I mean, the big issue for me is that I never had a console when I was growing up. So, and I never really played FPS games on the PC. So, I don't have the general skills and like stuff like that to be good at FPS. Yeah, if I was a good FPS player and I enjoyed it, then I'd go play Fortnite like Psalm. Sure. I'd go do it. But Fortnite seems like a pretty interesting game, even if you ignore the FPS mechanics. The building mechanics and some of the strategy of that is pretty interesting. Artifact, sure. Might go do that. Might go play Gwent. There's a lot of good games that have companies that are backing them and are serious about the esport in that game. And as time goes on, it seems like Blizzard is not one of those. They're not. Yeah, Artifact. They announced I think $1 million prize pool for for tournaments next year. I mean, over time, like if I spend enough hours in an FPS game, I can get to a decent level. And if I were to play Overwatch, let's say, I would not be playing the main FPS roles, which is the DPS. I would be playing support most likely, or tank maybe, which are a lot less about FPS and a lot more about positioning and game sense and other mechanics. TCG and those are super pay to win. No, not with the model that Valve has said. It's not going to be pay to win. With an actual player-controlled market, stuff like that, it's not going to be pay to win. Battle Royale expected to last 1 or 2 more years? Yeah. I mean, Battle Royales are definitely a big portion of their popularity is a fad. Like, Battle Royale is a valid genre. It's a valid genre for casual players and for esports, sure. But as much popularity as they have right now is a fad. And that some amount of their viewership and their player base will go on to whatever the next new thing is. And I mean, whatever the company behind Fortnite is trying to make the most of it. They know their game isn't going to last forever, at least at the size that it is, probably. So they're making the most of it. They're going big in the esports for this year and next year. And they're making a lot of money off their game. And they're doing really, really well. They're doing a lot of good stuff. No, PUBG is terrible. PUBG, I mean, it was, even before PUBG, it was, DayZ, or the zombies thing. And it was just, like, one bad Battle Royale game after another. It still got a ton of popularity because it is such a popular genre right now. And PUBG came out, and it was, I mean, it was good, but it was in beta, and had a ridiculous number of bugs. And they promised they were going to fix those bugs, fix those issues. They never did. They just sat there and said, "Oh, we've got millions of players already. Why are we gonna make any improvements? We're just gonna sit here, like Blizzard sits here, and just sits here and expects stuff to grow anyway." And then Fortnite came out, and Fortnite wasn't even a Battle Royale game. Fortnite was a base-building co-op for zombies game. And then they decided, hey, Battle Royale is pretty popular, what if we make one? And then they did. And then it was really good. And then the company actually decided, hey, let's not just sit here and go AFK and rake in money still. We're still raking in a ton of money, but let's keep improving the game. Let's do the esports and do it well. Yeah, they made their mode in 2 months. It's insane. They just came in and they They swooped in, and billions of dollars that were raining down on PUBG, they just came in and just collected all of that. Billions of dollars that could have been going to PUBG developers and the PUBG company, just gone because they were too lazy, too overconfident, too short-sighted. Because Fortnite is making billions of dollars, for sure. So much money. I mean, maybe billions is a bit much, but they are making a ridiculous amount of money, and PUBG could have been making that money. There's no reason that a two-month developed game should be able to just show up and take the entire player base with them away from you when you're already the established game, the established #1. It's just insane that PUBG let that happen. The PUBG developers let that happen. I mean, that's just another example of, I mean, no developer's perfect. Not every developer's good. PUBG's an example of a poor developer, where they just did not develop their game. They did so many things wrong. They did almost everything wrong. Yeah, they had the lawsuit about the frying pan. I heard about that a little bit. Yeah, Fortnite came in sooner, HOTS was late compared to LoL Dota, but Blizzard knew that when they made HOTS. They knew that it was late compared to League and Dota, and then they should have marketed the game harder. They should have spent more resources on the game instead of less. Because they come in, and they know that there's already heavy competition, and there's already heavily established favorites in the genre, and then they half-ass it. And they don't put in 100%. They don't try and develop the game as much as possible and make it as good as possible and market it as well as they possibly could. FPS RTS mixes like natural selection. That game was ugly. If that's the game that I think you're talking about, let me look it up to make sure I know. Yeah, this is the game. I saw a tournament for this game, and when I saw the tournament, what I watched like almost an entire tournament of this game, and what I saw was very heavy imbalance between, because it's humans versus aliens, and it's kind of like Zerg versus Terran kind of thing in StarCraft, and it's one person is the base commander for each team, and they build the structures and command the rest of the team, and then everyone else is a unit that runs around and either shoots or is melee and fights. And when I watched that tournament, the biggest issue that I saw was there was an extremely heavy imbalance between humans and aliens, where the humans almost always won, even if they were the worst team. So going into the finals of the tournament, there was one team that was way better than the other team in the finals. But every single time the better team was on humans, they stomped super hard. Every time they were on aliens, the games were really, really close, but the other team still won on humans. And then the issue was, especially because it is a best of odd number of games, one team gets to play humans more than the other. And that was how it set up, was the worst team was actually going to get more games on humans. So they were looking to just win just off of that. And the only reason the better team won was they did a really cheesy rush where they built a base building basically inside of the humans' base and cheesed them out. And then they ended up winning off of that. And it ended up being like 5-4 score with the better team winning, but it was 4-4 humans. Every human game won other than that one cheese strat, and that was just bad to see, that the game was so imbalanced. The game looked pretty good, but that imbalance really pissed me off and made it look a lot less competitive. Yeah, PUBG is still making a lot of money, but Fortnite is making the majority of it. PUBG could have been a huge esport too, and now it's just a tiny esport. If you look up, there's some PUBG things. If you look up, what is it? Let me try and find it, because I was actually trying to watch some OGN PUBG. If you watch any OGN PUBG tournament, here. PUBG could have been massive esport. OGN doing Korean PUBG tournaments. And you ever watch these streams, they are less than 100 viewers consistently. And it's sad. And you watch Fortnite tournaments and it's 10, 20, 30k viewers every time. PUBG messed up really badly. Yeah, PUBG streamers keep the game going, but they also just play the other games too. Yeah, I mean China's its own region. China is very separate from the rest of the world, and China can have their own huge esports in their own region, but most of the time, or a lot of the time, the esports in China, those specific games, are not big games in the rest of the world. So I mean, maybe PUBG just has money raining on them from China. But they could have had way more if Fortnite didn't come in and do their job better than they were. Yeah, pretty much just League of Legends is a big esport in China that is also a big esport in the rest of the world. And Dota a bit. There are Chinese Dota teams that are pretty competitive. League and Dota. No Overwatch, no Fortnite, no other stuff. Yeah, HOTS is unique. HOTS has a lot of good things going for it, but a lot of bad things hurting it and holding it back. And it sucks. Yeah, HOTS has never added so many key features. The reconnect system. I mean, it's the engine's bad, but if Blizzard really wanted to, they could write up a whole new engine from scratch for HOTS, if they really wanted to. If this game was the size of Overwatch, they would. Because that's what Riot Games did. They had a ridiculously bad, like, Adobe Air game engine, something terrible like that, and they rewrote the entire game from scratch. Or maybe not the game engine, but at least their client. They did a lot. Riot had a lot of stuff that was really bad, and they took the time, spent the resources to improve upon it. Yeah, Riot took a while too, but at least Riot got it done. Yeah, Riot had a lot of issues too, but they actually improved on it. And I mean, maybe they could have done it sooner, because they were making a ton of money for a while before they fixed it, but at least they did it. At least they got it done. A lot of HOTS balance is almost there. Sometimes HOTS is pretty balanced. Right now it's not. Right now it's not very balanced. Dota went from yeah, Dota even rewrote Dota's first engine wasn't even bad, but then they decided, hey, we can improve some stuff. Let's make a new Dota engine. And then they did it. And it was even really bad when they first released it, and there was a ton of bugs they had to fix, but now it's pretty good. And it's better than it was before. And I mean, these are big companies. They can do that. They have the resources available to them that they can make a big investment like that to completely rewrite their game engine. Yeah, I mean, you compare... There are very few esports that have only an online league. Very few. Because the thing is, too, when League did LCS, from Season 2 onwards, they had a LAN. They never had an online league for League of Legends. Yeah, the old system was a lot more fun compared to the HCC, but HCC is a lot more consistent, where you don't have to be winning the tournaments to actually make a living. But LANs are better than online, just better. CSGO esport model? Yeah. I mean, if you have big enough tournaments with big enough prize pools that even the teams that get last place, they still qualified, they still competed, they still make a decent living. And that's good. That can work fine. I mean, the league system as it is fine. If they make it LAN, if they put more money into it, if they improve the promotion for HGC, then it can be good. But they need to do that. If they sit there and do nothing, it will be bad. Yeah, I mean, each person can prefer either model. It's fine. Either way. As long as you do it properly, both of those models can succeed. And it's been proven to succeed already. Yeah, neither can I. Because, I mean, that's the thing, too, is in games where you feel like the developers... I mean, there's a lot of games where you play the game and you feel like the developers are being very generous, where where you get given a lot of stuff for free, or a lot of stuff for really cheap, and you feel like, oh, I'm playing this game, I'm getting really rewarded. I'm just playing the game, I get a lot of stuff, and that feels really good. And it does cost that company a decent bit to give that stuff for free, but it buys a lot of player loyalty. And players are more willing to spend on the game when they feel like they're getting a lot back for it. Whereas if they feel like they're being nickel and dimed and they're getting a really cheap experience if they don't spend money, then they're less likely to spend money. Even if on the spreadsheets you look at it and you say, oh hey, it cost us very little for this and we made some money off of it. That's a really high percentage gain compared to, hey, this cost us a decent bit, but we got really high returns on it. And the intangibles like player loyalty and player retention are a lot harder to see on a spreadsheet, and are just almost invisible on a spreadsheet. And if you aren't actively being aware of them, and you're just a shareholder that wants to see money, then you're not going to see them, and you're not going to even care about them probably. You want the short-term gains, you want the return on your investment, and that's what matters. And that's an issue with shareholder-driven, I mean just in general, not just in gaming, that's just an issue that occurs a lot with shareholder-driven corporations, is they lose sight of the intangibles, the stuff that isn't on the spreadsheet. Does Blizzard have a single game that isn't dying? Overwatch isn't dying. Hearthstone is dying. Hearthstone at the very least is stagnating, if not dying. Yeah, Blizzard significantly hurt the development of, first of all, StarCraft Brood War esports and StarCraft 2 esports. Yes. Yeah. Anyone that's a pro or even a pro streamer in Hearthstone is going to Artifact or MTG Arena. Savitz went to do it, Reynad went to do it. A bunch of pro players already quit and are going to Artifact. And the thing about Artifact too is they gave a lot of like closed beta keys or whatever, closed alpha keys to a lot of pro players from other games to get them to play their game. So they say, hey, here's advanced pass to play our game, try it out, see if you like it, and also we're running $1 million tournaments tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next year. And then that's how you attract pro players to your game. That's how you attract high skill competitive people to your game. You don't say, here, you can come play our game, and here's 20K a year, and enjoy yourself. Because that's not how you foster a competitive esport. Yeah, MTG Arena did a ton of things. They sponsored a ton of streamers to stream the game. And then a lot of streamers, after they were done being sponsored, they said, hey, I really enjoy this. I'm going to keep streaming it. And also, hey, I still got a ton of viewership watching this game. That's pretty cool. Let's keep streaming it. Why would I stream Hearthstone when it's cancer to stream and I hate it whenever I'm playing that game? When I'm enjoying this. Even if I'm making a little bit less money. Yeah, Dota 2 esports model is great. There's a ton of ways you can run your esport. You don't have to do it one way or else you fail. You just have to do it, and you have to do it properly. And there's a lot of ways you can do it, as long as you do it properly, again. Yeah. It's not like you're like the HOTS meta right now, where if you don't pick Tehran, you don't pick Diablo, you don't pick Garrosh, you just lose. That's not how the esports meta is. There's so much flexibility, there's so much balance. As long as you're a good player, you're a good company, you're a good developer, you can do well in the esports scene, no matter what route you choose to do. There's a nice metaphor. Fact draft matters that much is dumb. I mean, you want the draft to matter. You can't just say pick any hero you want and then you still have a 100% win chance in the game. There should be some kind of a balance between draft mattering and game mattering. I don't know if the perfect balance is 50-50, I don't know if it's 60-40, 70-30, but it shouldn't be 100-0. And I mean, maybe people feel like right now, maybe the draft matters too much, where maybe the draft is 70% and the play is 30%, and that's too much. And I don't know, it's hard to tell what percentage that actually is, and it's hard to say what is actually the right amount. Want some transparency? Yeah. I mean, you know why Blizzard isn't going to release player numbers, because they look bad. They're not going to release player numbers because it'll look bad. Then they won't be able to say, oh hey, the game's growing, the game's great. Because then you look at the player numbers and you say, oh, maybe it's not. Maybe things aren't so great. And then that's a big thing too, is the sinking ship mentality. Where people play a game because it's popular. That is just a thing that people do sometimes. And if they see that it's not popular and getting less popular, then it might not play it. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing where there is a lot less agency, a lot less where, like, after the draft happens, a lot of stuff is already predetermined. Between the draft finishing and the game starting to the game ending, a lot of stuff is already predetermined by that draft. And that is more of a factor in HOTS compared to other games. But it's still a significant factor in other games too. Like, if you were to watch League of Legends Worlds right now, I mean, a lot of the games are coming down to skill, but a lot of the games are coming down to, hey, they had a better draft. They were significantly favored because of the draft advantages that they had. And maybe it's not a 100% win rate because you won the draft, but it's 80%. It's really high. Really significant advantage. Hearthstone same as happening in PUBG. Yeah, no improvements. No improvements. They just sit there and make new cards. It's same as making new skins in other games. They sit there and do that. They never improve the game. They never improve the balance, stuff like that. They just sit there and say, we're the #1 in our game. We're not going to make improvements. What competition? It's no competition. There's no competition here. And an artifact comes out. Gwent comes out. Magic Arena comes out. And then suddenly you lost half your player base. And you can't get them back because they hate you. Because they feel like you're scamming them. And you're just a ripoff. And you don't care about the game. And you don't care about them as players. Yeah, that could be very well true, Yuj. Because that's what it feels like. Is Blizzard, when they make a new game, when they release a new game, it's really well polished, it's really well designed, it's really well balanced. But then what happens afterwards is it starts to fall off with all of their games. And then, I mean, yeah, that could be true, where you have the initial design team that has this vision, this idea for a game, and they get given the time and the resources to be able to properly develop and execute that idea. But then after it's released, then suddenly they don't get those opportunities. They don't get the time and resources to develop the game as they wanted to. And then they have to cut corners. They have to make sacrifices. And then suddenly the game that on release was really good, really polished, really balanced, really well designed, starts to slip and starts to degrade over time. Yeah, now it's too late. It's too late for PUBG now. It's too late. People have already seen that the PUBG developers don't care about the players. The only reason PUBG is releasing these updates now is because they lost the players. And players know that. And players are happy with Fortnite and happy with Fortnite developers. They're not going to go back. Most of them will not go back, even though those are things that, if those things had happened 6 months ago, a year ago, then they never would have left. But now it's very clear to players that the PUBG developers don't care about them. Don't care about the game, even. They just care about the profits. Yeah, bring in pro players to balance your game. Do it. Or just take the free feedback that pro players are already giving you about the game. Just even take that and act on it would be great. You don't need to even pay the pro players to help balance your game. You could go on Twitter or talk to them in person at BlizzCon and say, hey, what do you think needs to be improved upon? And they'd say, Tron's fucking broken. Absolutely disgusting hero. They'd say, hey, Diablo Garrosh, too strong. Nerf them. They'd say, hey, here's a bunch of heroes, gigantic pile of 10 to 20 heroes who are too weak. Buff them. It's really, really easy. Offlane, dog shit. Fix that shit. Why is Arel Blaze, Dahaka, the only 3 offlane heroes for the entire year? That's stupid. Come on, do something. Hey, Blizzard, do something. Do something, please. Yeah, they take Reddit feedback instead of pro players, so they're balancing around the casual player base. Yeah, I mean, they're balancing around low elo, low skill level, around quick match, where there isn't even supports and tanks. And that's not even the same game. And then they just leave pro play for the same meta for 6 months, 9 months, a year. Like, heroes like Blaze, Arel, Dahaka, Maiev, Genji, they have been top-tier meta picks for the entire year. Tehran, since her rework, top-tier meta pick. Diablo, since his rework, top-tier meta pick. Raynor, since his rework, top-tier meta pick. Phoenix, since his release, top-tier meta pick. And then people complain about hero variety. Balance for the top, everything else is flawed. Everything else is flawed no matter what. Even if theoretically you have achieved perfect balance for the 10% lowest skill players in your game, then if those 10% lowest skill players run into anyone 11% or higher skill, there will still be something broken against them. And they'll complain about it still. And even if the game is perfectly balanced for those 10% lowest skill players, there will still be stuff that seems imbalanced to them. That they look at and they think this is not fair, even if it is perfectly fair. The only place where you can achieve true balance in the game is at the highest level. Yeah, the only way to balance for the lowest 10% is to make everything the same. Everyone's now a melee minion. Go run into each other and auto attack. Have fun. Game is balanced. Enjoy yourself, Reddit. Diablo's top tier before Rear Tune? No. No, he was not. Oh, actually, you can choose. You can be a melee minion or a ranged minion. But it's balanced. Have fun. Enjoy it. I'm sure you're gonna have a lot of fun with this game mode. You are one of 6 minions in a minion wave, and then you 6v6. Be sure to flame your ranged minions for feeding. Lots of fun. And then also, anyone that spends $100 or more on skins gets to be a catapult. And catapults are way stronger than the other minions. But don't tell anybody. It's not pay to win. Shh. Shh. That's a lot of games. Not HOTS, but a lot of games, especially mobile games, are like that. $8 a.m. Damn. 12 hours. Clash Royale, yep. But it's an esport, yeah. It's funny that that game is an esport. When to even try to compete in its esports, you have to spend more money than you're making. That's so funny. That's the irony. Oh, the irony. Ah ha ha ha. Ah ha 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 ha. The irony. Wow. That's fun. That's so ironic. And even more funny is that because it's a mobile game designed for mobile, anyone that plays it on PC with an emulator has a big advantage because they're using a mouse. Indonesia won though? Wow. But how much did they spend? What did it cost? Heroes are too low skill cap in this game? I definitely think the older heroes, like 2016 heroes, are pretty low skill cap, a lot of them. And I mean, it's fine, you can have, like, League of Legends has low skill cap heroes, and that's fine. But at the competitive level, especially to make it, to reward high skill, and to make it more interesting for viewers, it is a lot better if high skill cap heroes are more prevalent. And, I mean, Garrosh is a high skill cap hero, honestly. Garrosh is a very high skill cap hero. He has a lot of gameplay to him, with his unstoppable cooldown, his ally throw cooldown, the different CC combos you can do, and the different way you can use his abilities. He's a high skill cap hero. Someone like Raynor, not a high skill cap hero. Someone like Sergeant Hammer, not really a high skill cap hero. Maiev, very high skill cap hero, but also too strong. So you have to have a balance in it. And yeah, the low skill cap heroes are still viable. You can take a champion like Annie in League of Legends and get to Challenger. And not because everyone's trash and the rank system's trash, but because you're actually good enough at the game and good enough at the hero that you can climb. Whereas in HOTS, you can again take any garbage hero to GM, but that's because the rank system is bad and everyone else is bad at the game, so you can just AFK split push. But year or two back, Chen was always in the major HOTS. That was 2 years ago or further back. He's never been meta since then. Chen was only meta when there were very few interrupts, and he was a lot better. I think the scaling changes, which I don't know if people in chat even know what that was, hurt him a lot. And just as more and more new heroes released, he got more and more outdated. And I think Chen as a hero in general needs a rework. Basically, the way you play Chen is you have your Q, and then you have your W and your E. And you always press your W and E at the same time. There's no reason not to. You never do it unless you run out of energy. And they could literally take his W and E, make it one button, and then give him a new ability. And that would be neat. That'd be neat. And then you'd actually be more interesting. Because as it is, you have two buttons. You have your Q, and then you have your WE that you press at the same time with one finger. Good at releasing maps, or releasing good maps. So let's go through the map history. Actually, let's go to the wiki and look at map release dates and stuff. Battlegrounds. Sort by release date. So, Alterac, I already talked about these issues on stream. If you want to check that, check the VOD. You might have to search a little bit, because it is in the middle of 7 hours of talking, but you will, if you look at the VOD, and go to where I actually have HOTS launched, and look for that, then you will find this. So, it has its issues, but if those are fixed, then it is a decent map. Volskaya, when it was released, the tree glove was way too weak, and then they buffed it. Now it's way too strong and way too snowbally of a map. So, but and the conveyor belts are cancer, and the mercenary camps, the siege camp specifically on the top lane is very weak. But otherwise, I mean, the turret camp's pretty interesting. The health pack camp's okay, and the rest of it's okay. Hanamura absolutely sucked, and I don't know how the rework is going to be, but it was the worst map ever. Warhead, very bad map, very poorly balanced power curve of the warheads, very poorly balanced bosses. Just not a good map for competitive, at least. And yeah. And I mean, not every map needs to be in competitive. That's fine. I don't know how Warhead is for casual, but for competitive, it was terrible. Braxis, terrible. It was too cheesy, 2 lanes, not enough to do on the map, and then they changed it to make it even worse recently, and I talked about that earlier on the stream as well. Towers of Doom, very good map. One of the best maps in the game, and has been since release. Very well balanced. Has a lot of depth to the gameplay and to the strategy to it. And is a very good map. Infernal Shrines, another really good map. The only issue with this map is RNG with the night camps, where they sometimes push an entire fort, and sometimes they die to a tower. And that sucks. And then the other issue is the Arcane Punisher is way too strong, and should have been nerfed a year ago, 2 years ago. Should have been nerfed so long ago. It should have been nerfed, and still hasn't been nerfed. BOE, nice map. Good execution of a 2-lane map, where there is very little downtime between immortals. So that means that you are constantly active because there is an objective on the map. Whereas compare that to Braxis, there's no objective on the map a lot of the time. And even when there is, you just sit on a point and do nothing. And then both teams just run back and forth. And that's it. Bad 2-lane map, good 2-lane map. I mean, these are 2015 releases, so we're going pretty far back here. But most recently, Alterac is okay if they make improvements. Volskaya is okay if they made improvements, but they didn't. So they should make it less snowbally and fix the stupid conveyor belts and fix the top lane siege camp to be more impactful. I mean, these are simple fixes that they can make, and these are pretty good maps. Hanamura was just not fixable in its execution. It was just terrible. Just so awful. So bad in every single way. And I mean, you do try to innovate, but a map like that should never make it past PTR, if it even gets to PTR, honestly. So Alterac and Volskaya are okay, decent if they make the improvements that are needed. Alterac right now is very broken. Very broken. Unplayable and competitive. Yeah, the conveyor belt on Volskaya, specifically the one that goes from bottom lane to top lane, that one's fine. The rest of them are a mess, though. The rest of them are a mess. Maps were great up to towers. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, these were the initial release maps, so these two sucked. But Cursed Hollow, still a really good map in competitive. Dragonshire, still a really good map in competitive. All of these maps, up to Towers, really good maps in competitive. They had some issues that needed to be tweaked over time, but overall, really consistently good maps. You know, they have some aspects that reward some heroes, some specific traits better than others, but that's fine. That's what the game is designed around, where some maps, some heroes are better than others, and that's great. Where Tomb, wave clear is a lot better. Where BOE, being able to damage the Immortal, is a lot better. Towers of Doom, late game is a lot better. Infernal Shrines, Shrine Clear is a lot better. Cool. Nice. Practice Holdout, what do you want to be good at on this map? I don't know. What do you want to do on this map? You run around as 5-man, look for pickoffs. Okay. Warhead Junction, what do? You do a 5-minute boss. And then use your warheads to blow up the keep, and then kill core. And then if that doesn't work, you go to the second boss and do that. 7-minute boss. And then end the game off of that. Okay. Hanamura, what do you do on this map? You do nothing. You push in your payloads, and then go AFK. The rest of the time, you do nothing. Volskaya, what do? You 5-man team fight. That's cool, other than the snowballiness. Alterac Pass, what do you do? Not sure what you do, to be honest. But I don't know, we'll see. Have people playtest so they can tweak and help out early in development. Yeah, that's literally their job already at Zack and Attack. Their job is, while they're designing and developing these maps, to test them and to see if they're interesting and competitive. And interesting and have depth at high level play. 2017 5-minute games, yep, that was my team. That was Roll20. 5-minute game against Endemic, or whatever they were back then. Yep. Just double support, Artanis, run it down the boss lane. Yeah, they say their balance team is Masters players. But I don't believe them. Even with the new broken Hero League, broken rank system, I still do not believe that these are Masters players on their balance team. I do not believe it. I don't know for sure that they are not, but based on the evidence that I have, which is the current balance of the heroes and the current balance of the maps and stuff like that, I do not believe it. Yeah. No offense, but the developers don't understand GM level play. They do not understand competitive level play to the depth that is necessary to balance and design the game for competitive level play. Use Nose 3, but yeah. I don't know. And are the 3 that are even Masters, are they the ones that are making the decisions, or are their voices being drowned out by a bunch of silver people that are basically Redditors at that point? Yeah, Masters doesn't mean anything anyways. At this point of the rank system, I do not care if you are Masters, you are GM, I do not care about any of that. Your opinion means nothing to me about competitive play unless you have been a pro player, or at least an open division player. Your opinion means nothing to me. At least if you are working on the game, working for Blizzard, you just should not be. You are not qualified enough to work on the competitive side of the game. Yeah, I mean, you can do cool stuff, but you can't. Genji can do cool stuff, but Genji shouldn't do so much cool stuff and have no weaknesses. And that should come down to the balance team to say, hey, this is really cool, but we're gonna need to make it a bit weaker. He can still do the cool stuff and do the spinny flippy jumps and the super fast dashy stuff and do some resets, but he shouldn't do so much damage, and he shouldn't be able to wave clear, and he shouldn't have a deflect on a low cooldown and have so much mobility. Like, any pro player would see Genji, play with him a few games, and say, no, this is too strong. Any pro player. It would take them less than an hour. Same thing with Maev on release. Any pro player would spend less than an hour playing the game, playing that hero, Maev, and say, no, this is too strong. Tone it down. It's cool. Tethers are cool. It's not anti-mobility. That's some bullshit. But it's cool, but it's too strong. Tone it down. Why does she have 15 base armor? Or 10 base armor? I wasn't at the summit 2 years ago. But from what I hear, yes, they did ignore everything the pro players said. Yeah, I mean, Tehran, you spend 2 seconds looking at her numbers and you say this is too strong. You look 10 mana cost, 275 healing, base. What's Uther's healing? Let me compare it real quick. Oh, 90 mana cost, 250 healing. Oh, yeah, that's gonna need to be changed. That's kind of ridiculous. Like, this should not be going to PTR. A lot of this stuff, it should not. It should be caught by the balance team, and it is not being caught by the balance team. Like, on-release Phoenix was too strong. He wasn't 100% game-breaking broken, but he was too strong. I mean, earlier on that stream, we were talking about on-release heroes being ridiculous. Hanzo was one of them. Hanzo had, like, his level 4 W talent was 250% or 350% double or 300% W damage for PvE. So he would literally level 4, your W would be doing 1.5k 2k damage to a boss. And then level 7, the W cooldown reduction talent was 4 seconds. So you would auto attack twice and your W's off cooldown, or even once sometimes. Make them OP first week so people buy them? I mean, that is a conspiracy theory that one might have. And it is not an unbelievable one. Or a rel armor at 4, yeah. Or right main ultimate armor, 40 armor instantly. Stuff like that. And yeah, I wish I wish that too. Where you can make constant small tweaks and it's never going to break the game. You're never going to give Illidan 1 attack damage and then the game is broken in half. That's not going to happen. You're never going to nerf Maiev by 5 attack damage and she's going to be absolutely unplayable. That's never going to happen. The casual players won't even notice. The only players that will notice is the pro players. And they don't. And I don't know why they don't. Yeah, it's fine if they're a bit out of tune with everything else. Like that's to be expected, where your balance team can't perfectly balance it. But they should be able to balance it decently. Like if you have a scale and it does the job where you can weigh 100 pounds versus about 100 pounds and that works. But if you're weighing 100 pounds and then you weigh 100 pounds against 150 pounds and the scale says that's good, then no, your scale's broken. Fix it. Yeah, they already changed the system so people can't even do it properly, yep. Want to buy a skin directly? Buy a loot box, and nobody wants to buy loot boxes. Or if you want to buy a skin, buy the entire package with a bunch of stuff that you don't want. And that makes people spend less money, even if it looks like the individual money gained per transaction is higher. Why not both? I don't know. Why not loot boxes? Why not just not use loot boxes? Because you know they're cancerous, you know they're exploitative, they're exploiting psychology. And exploiting gambling addictions and gambling vulnerabilities. So, I mean, they probably make a ton of money from a few people. There's probably 100 to 1,000 people who have spent at least $1,000 on loot boxes partly because of gambling addictions. I mean, partly they might just really like the game and they want to support it or whatever. But there are definitely people who have spent thousands of dollars on loot boxes because of their gambling addiction. And loot boxes are specifically developed and designed to exploit that. You can go and find a ton of articles about how that works. Wrong game for loot boxes? You can stuff loot boxes into any game if you try hard enough. If you want it badly enough. It's not a question of whether or not you should, but whether or not you can. Or it's a question of they think about whether or not they can without thinking about whether or not they should, is a better way to put it. CSGO loot boxes, yeah, they're pretty insane too. Valve's a great developer in a lot of ways, but they still have loot boxes too. For CSGO, for Dota, all of it. They're not exempt. They implement loot boxes into the game knowing the consequences, knowing how they work, how they exploit certain things. It's not they just happen to throw some darts at a board and then, oh, loot boxes. Oh, that's cool. Oh, this time it landed on buy skins directly. Okay. No. It is calculated, it is planned. Yeah, we might just not go to sleep today or something, I don't know. I don't know at this point. What do I do? Do I just not sleep and then go to bed? No, then I can't do analysis because I want to start at 8 p.m. EST. I have to sleep at some point. 4 games left today. Heroes Hearth vs Tempest. Unless Heroes Hearth has some really strong cheese, they're gonna lose. And Genji vs Miracle, I don't know. Blizzard should watch this VOD. I have good ideas. Tons of people have good ideas. It's all on Blizzard. Does Blizzard want it? Does Blizzard want to do it? Or do they not? And we will see going into next year. Because I know for a fact, if Blizzard does not want it, and the game is in exactly the same state that it is now, as it is the end of next year, there will not be a pro scene in next year. Or going into 2 years from now, I guess. No, yeah, none of my ideas are revolutionary. Or at least most of them. I mean, I have a few unique ideas. But a lot of my ideas, I just read them, I found them on Reddit, and I'm just relaying them here. And I'm not a game designer. I'm not paid for this. I'm not anything. I'm just some random 22-year-old who plays video games. They have people that are specifically went to college and got a degree in this kind of thing. So, but why aren't they doing their job better than I can? I don't know. Yeah, 22 out of 26 2-0s. Not many teams are equally matched. A lot of mismatched teams, a lot of mismatched skill levels, even at BlizzCon. Varian. Concept of multi-class. So, in competitive, I mean, so here's the thing. All right, so the concept of Varian, it can make sense if all 3 of them are balanced, at least generally. Then it could work. But first of all, the first issue with Varian is one of his specs is a tank. The other 2 are both DPS. One is burst, one is sustained DPS, kind of, but they both do the same thing. So that's the first issue. Is it's not like you have tank, then DPS, and then something else. You have tank, and then DPS, and then DPS. So that's already a little bit of the variety of the multi-class cut down. Then on the execution of it. So, it's not very good. Taunt is fine. Taunt has a lot of good things going for it. The other 2 do not have very many good things going for them. Especially in competitive, they're just memes. I can see casually, you pick Varian, you say, hey, I want to do burst damage here, they're really squishy, okay. Or you say, hey, I want to 1v1 people, I'll pick Twin Blades, sure. But for competitive, no. If in competitive they executed it well, and they were well balanced, I could see a world where in competitive, there is an early pick Varian, and the enemy team does not know, is that going to be a tank Varian, or is it going to be a DPS Varian? The enemy team can flex that in their draft. That could be a real world. I could see that, a reality where that happens, but at this reality now, as Blizzard executed it, no. And in addition to that, not just the in-game stuff, the other issue with Varian as a multi-class is when you queue him for quick match, or you even pick him in Hero League, people expect you to go tank. You don't even have, and the system expects you to be tank. So if you queue Varian, and you want to go DPS Varian, then you get thrown into a quick match where you're the tank. You are expected to be the tank. The enemy team has a tank, has a Garrosh, has a Diablo, and you're a Varian with four assassins. And are you gonna go Twin Blades here? Are you gonna go Colossus Smash? Probably not, because then you're gonna get reported, and you might even get silenced by the automated silencing system. And that's another issue with the execution of Varian as a multi-class. Too hard to balance? Yeah. I mean, the other thing too is, like, he's multi-class, just like how you could say Malf is multi-class, where you either take Trank to be a support, or you take Twilight Dream to be an assassin. And, like, I mean, that's already just a feature of the talent system, where heroes are already decently flexible in what they specialize in, even between doing damage and supporting, or being tanky and doing damage. And I don't think you need to be all special snowflakey. Oh, multi-class Varian, he's so unique and quirky, when really he's not very much more unique than other heroes. There are other tanks that you can say, oh, I'm going DPS tank build, I'm not going to be tanky this game. There are other supports that you can say, oh, I'm not going support build this game, I'm going damage. They don't have to be multi-class, whatever that even means. Choice before the game? Yeah, that would be how you fix it for QM. It's just when you lock in Varian, you don't lock it in as a multi-class, and then the system assumes you're tank, because most of the time people go tank. Multi-class going away? Maybe. I don't know. I've said this before on the stream. Again, pro players don't have any insider information. We know nothing that the public does not know. Anything announced at BlizzCon, no pro players knew in advance. Maybe a few that have specific contacts with Blizzard, but the general pro community does not know anything more than plebs do. And maybe that's not a bad thing, but that is how it is. And some people might not be aware of that. I know nothing that you don't know. Nothing. In terms of upcoming developments. Not our brains are literally identical or something dumb like that. Casual games never grow. I mean, that could be true. Yeah, they spoiled the new role system on shirts or something. Yeah, that was spoiled, and yeah, that is pretty confirmed that there is something involving those symbols that were on the shirts. They've confirmed multi-class going away. Okay then. I mean, there's no point. I mean, you could, if Varian's a multi-class, so is Monk. It's whatever. Monk happens to have a W that heals. Varian has a W ability that happens to make him tanky. Whatever. Whatever. Yeah, maybe HOTS will have Iron Tier, like League of Legends. Yeah, League of Legends added a tier below Bronze. And it was a meme for a little bit on Reddit, but I mean, it's just... I think the reasoning is just that the Bronze population is too wide of a skill level between the top and bottom, and just in general. So they need to add another ranking tier to make it more balanced out. Wood? I mean, maybe if they have to add another one, they'll add wood. Or copper, or something like that. I don't know. Remove tier 5? I don't know. Did they? I don't know. Maybe that's why. They removed Tier 5, and then are adding in Iron to compensate for it. I don't know. Auto-generated mini tourneys in client. I did play Bloodline Champions for a few hours, but I never saw that. But I understand what you mean. I mean, they could do it if they develop it and spend the resources to develop it and put the technology in place. They could do it. It would be decent. They might have like ranking limitations where this tournament is for bronze to silver, or maybe just bronze. This tournament is for silver. This tournament's for whatever. And then have some loot boxes or some skin rewards for it, something unique like that, and then people would play it, and then that would give incentive for people to queue up as a group, and to be in comms with each other and see what competitive is like, and to see that the game does have a competitive aspect to it, and stuff like that. Hobbies, other games. Yeah, I've been playing MTG Arena a lot, for several hours per day. That's been fun. And then I watch esports tournaments. I'm watching League of Legends Worlds. I've been following that. I watch like other esports. There was Games Done Quick, which was happening, which I'm watching a little bit of. And yeah. Yeah, League was going to do Clash, but something went wrong with it. Something went horribly wrong, so they had it implemented and it was running for a day or something, and then they canceled it, and then they said it's gone or something. Something insane happened with that. I don't know. Maybe the FBI said, nope, you can't do that. You're gonna need to shut that down. I don't know. That's a meme. But I don't know. Very random. They're like, we're really excited about this Clash thing. Oh, it's coming out now. Oh, it's gone. Oh, Clash. What's Clash? That never existed. It's weird. Playing NGS. What is that? NGS. Let me Google it. Maybe I'll find out the answer. NGS. Next generation sequencing. Nope. Wikipedia. Alright, Wikipedia, please tell me what it is. Ninja Gaiden Sigma? Is that what it is? Nexus Gaming. Oh, okay. I'm never gonna find that on Wikipedia. Alright. It is not Ninja Gaiden Sigma. Alright, good job, Wikipedia. Thanks for the try. Yeah, Riot said they might be doing a MOBA, or not MOBA, they have a MOBA. A MMORPG. They might be doing that, or some other stuff. Damn, it would be cool if it's Ninja Gaiden Sigma. That'd be cool. Damn, look at the coincidence. So many people playing Ninja Gaiden Sigma in my chat. Wow. Nah, of course. Makes a lot more sense as a HOTS related thing. Alright. Oh god, it's almost 9 a.m. The sun is already here. God damn. Because I still need to sleep for 10 hours. Not the most... I mean, it's hard to keep a secret like that. Very hard to keep a secret like that anyway. Especially because Riot is not experienced with keeping secrets very much. Because, like, they have one game. It's not like they are like Blizzard constantly releasing new games. Or constantly, but releasing new games every once in a while where you run into the issues the first time where people leak stuff and then you say, hey, NDAs are cool. Sign the NDA. If you mess it up, you're getting sued. Pretty... Alright. Alright, let's go on HOTS Reddit. See what's going on there, and I'm going to bed. I can't even... Oh, region transfer. Yeah, region transferring. Why are skins and levels and rank region locked? That's just another thing that's really stupid. It makes sense in 2005, but it's 2018. There's no reason for it. Yeah, I mean, that's what you need to do. I mean, it's harsh, but IP and knowledge about it and the privacy of it and all that stuff, that is literal. That, I mean, it's not literally like this got leaked early, we made less money, but there is a very definite correlation, and it is a big deal. And I mean, yeah, that's what you need to do. And that's what Riot Games need to do. Yeah, it's necessary. You can't just sit there and say, hey, this is a secret, don't tell anybody, but Riot Games is making a FPS game, they're competing with Overwatch. And then just walk away. You have to, yeah. I mean, stuff has to go. I mean, some stuff, like word of mouth, can go around and rumors will always happen, but something that concrete is a pretty massive fuck up. But also, at the very least, then you still get to track it back. Unfortunately, he's a singular person, so you can't sue him for a ton for damages, but at least you can fire him. Got him. How is hosting me? What? I was gonna host how? But then I lasted longer, I guess. What? Alright. Wow. I was watching your stream, How, on the other monitor. It's right here. Now I can look at myself. Neat. Why are you hosting me, How? Now I feel obligated to, like, keep streaming or something. No. I'm not. It's almost 9 a.m. I need to use the washroom, feed cats, get water so I can take pills, and go to sleep. Oh, God. Ooh, let's do the eye thing to scare people away. Yeah, that'll work. What are they gonna do now? Are they gonna watch my stream now? Will they really keep watching? How long can I do this for? Maybe I'll fall asleep while doing this. That's pretty spooky, right? Pretty spooky stuff. How does news like that getting out really hurt them? It can hurt them with promoting the game, promoting the stuff and stuff like that, where the surprise is part of the value. You need a sword? Yeah, sure. There you go. I mean, you want my 60 viewers? How? I'll host you. I mean, I don't know if my 60 viewers need to go to sleep too. But yeah, I've been streaming for 12 or 13 hours now. Yeah, 13 hours. Close to 13 hours now. Oh my. Yeah, I do need some energy to do things. At least I get to see my cats in the morning, where they have a lot of energy. Whereas normally when I wake up in the afternoon to the evening, they are a lot more, mellow and relaxed. But here they've been pretty crazy all morning. Wrestling and meowing and looking out the window. Yeah, it kills hype. That's a good way to put it. Alright, how are you streaming? Am I hosting you? Oh, he's back. Alright, we're giving How the stream. Thanks for sitting with me for 7 or 8 hours listening to me just talk. It says you're not hosting me anymore, How, so you should be good. We can look at a cat for one more second. Come here, cat. People want to see you before they go. Alright, here's a cat. He's gonna squirm a little bit because he's got a lot of energy. Hey? Yeah, you wanted to be looking out the window and I interrupted you. Sorry about that. See you later, cat. You can go look out the window again. Alright, good night, good morning, everybody. Where is the host button? Let me find that real quick. How do I host? Oh god, how do I host? How do I do it? Oh god, what do I do? What do I do? Oh boy, what do I do? Help! I need help. Is it /host? Or is it !host? slash host and then space his name. Okay, slash host space Houndigoon TV and chat. Alright, see you guys later. Go watch How. He's doing some Hero League. Very fun experience. I can see him enjoying it a lot. Alright, so this should host.